Have you ever felt as though your world was being turned upside down? As if everything that was once stable is now shifting beyond your control? Do not fear. This is not destruction. Before great blessings arrive, life often becomes unpredictable. You may face sudden challenges, unexpected endings, and moments of deep uncertainty. But understand this: God never subtracts without the intent to multiply. What feels like rejection is, in truth, redirection. What appears as loss is simply the pruning before the harvest. One of the first signs that something extraordinary is coming your way is separation. You will notice relationships falling away, old habits losing their appeal, and doors closing without explanation. Do not fight this process. God removes what no longer serves you because He is making space for something greater. Resistance will appear. The path may suddenly seem filled with obstacles, delays, and tests that stretch your faith to its limits. But recognize this: resistance is the signal that you are moving in the right direction. The bigger the blessing, the greater the opposition. This is not the time to retreat. It is the time to stand firm in the unseen promise. And then there is the undeniable inner knowing. You will feel it, a quiet but unwavering certainty deep within you. Even when nothing on the outside affirms it, something inside you will refuse to let go of the vision. That is God's way of whispering, "Hold on. I am about to do something beyond what you imagined." But before the manifestation comes the final test: patience. You will be asked to trust, to believe, and to keep walking even when you cannot yet see the destination. This is where most give up. But those who endure, those who trust despite the silence, will walk into a reality far greater than they ever prayed for. And just when you are ready to surrender, you will begin to see the signs. A sudden opportunity, a chance encounter, a message that seems meant just for you. The unseen world will start aligning in ways beyond your comprehension. So if you are in a season of uncertainty, if you are feeling stretched, tested, or alone, rejoice. Something big is on its way. The preparation may be uncomfortable, but the promise is certain. God is not punishing you. He is positioning you. Your breakthrough is not far. It is already written. All you must do now is trust, believe, and step forward into the unseen. For what is coming is beyond anything you have ever imagined. There comes a moment in life when everything you once relied upon begins to shift, as if the very foundation beneath your feet is crumbling. The stability you once knew seems distant, and what was familiar suddenly feels foreign. You may find yourself questioning why things are falling apart, why relationships are dissolving, why opportunities that seemed so certain are now slipping through your fingers. It is in these moments of deep uncertainty that many feel abandoned, lost in the chaos of unanswered prayers. But what if this apparent destruction is not an end, but a beginning? What if what you perceive as loss is in truth divine preparation for something far greater than you could ever imagine? There is a higher order to all things, a rhythm unseen by the physical eye but deeply felt in the soul. When great change is on the horizon, life must first be rearranged to make room for it. You cannot carry the old into the new. The past must be stripped away so that something greater can take its place. It is not punishment, it is not misfortune. It is simply the divine clearing space for what is meant for you. Consider the ways in which growth happens. A seed, before it becomes a tree, must first break apart beneath the soil. To the untrained eye, it would appear as though the seed is being destroyed, but in reality, it is beginning its transformation. The shell must crack, the roots must push through the dirt, and only after enduring darkness and pressure does it finally break through to the light. Such is the process of elevation. Before you can rise, you must first be broken open. Many resist this breaking, clinging to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves them. They hold on to relationships that drain them, jobs that limit them, environments that keep them stagnant. They pray for change, but fear what it requires. And so, when the shift begins, when people leave, when doors close, when life seems to unravel, they panic. They fight to hold on to what was instead of trusting what is to come. But you cannot step into the next chapter of your life while clinging to the last. The discomfort you feel is not a sign to retreat. It is a call to surrender. Life is removing what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. The friendships that faded, the opportunities that vanished, the plans that fell apart. It was all necessary. If it was meant for you, it would have stayed. If it was removed, it was never truly yours to begin with, or its purpose in your journey has been fulfilled. In the midst of transition, the mind searches for certainty. It wants to understand why things are happening the way they are, why events unfolded as they did. But this process is not meant to be understood from the perspective of the present. It only becomes clear in hindsight. You must trust that what seems like chaos now is actually divine order in disguise. Think of the caterpillar in its cocoon. From the outside, it looks as though it is trapped, undergoing an unseen struggle, but within, a transformation is taking place. The very structure of its being is dissolving, reshaping, preparing for the moment it will emerge as something completely new. If you were to interrupt this process, to force it out before its time, it would never develop the strength needed to fly. So too must you allow your transformation to unfold. At times, the breaking will feel unbearable. You will question why things are happening the way they are. You may feel as though you have been abandoned by life itself, as if everything you worked for has been taken from you without reason. But in those moments, remind yourself that you are not being destroyed, you are being redefined. You are not losing, you are being positioned for something greater. There is no elevation without disruption, there is no growth without discomfort. Those who rise the highest are often the ones who endured the most profound transformation, the ones who trusted even when they could not see, the ones who released what no longer served them and stepped forward, even when the path ahead was unclear. This is not a setback, it is a setup. Life is not punishing you, it is preparing you. The things being stripped away were never meant to be permanent. They were simply the scaffolding, the temporary structures that supported you for a time. Now they must be removed so that you can stand fully in the new reality that awaits you. So let go. Stop fighting to hold on to what is leaving. Stop mourning what is meant to be released. Trust that the space being cleared is making room for something beyond your imagination. What is coming is greater than what was lost. The divine does not take without the intent to give in greater measure. One day you will look back and understand. You will see that what felt like the end was actually the beginning, that the pain was not punishment but preparation, that every loss led to an even greater gain. Until then, trust the process. Trust that life is always working in your favor, even when it feels like it isn't. You are not being broken, you are being transformed, and what is waiting for you on the other side of this moment is beyond anything you have ever known. There comes a time in your journey when the world around you begins to shift in ways you cannot control. The people you once held close start to drift away. The doors that once stood open now close without warning. The familiar conversations fade, and the noise that once filled your days is replaced by an unsettling silence. You may wonder why it is happening. Why the ones who were once constant in your life are now absent. Why the opportunities that seemed promising have vanished. Why you feel more alone than ever before. But what if this isolation is not a punishment but a sign? What if this solitude is not an empty void but a sacred space for transformation? God does not elevate you in the crowd. He separates you first. He pulls you away from distractions, from attachments, from the things that keep you bound to the person you once were. You may feel abandoned, as if the very fabric of your life is unraveling. But what is truly happening is a shedding, a necessary release of all that no longer aligns with your destiny. You cannot move forward while clinging to what was. And so, before the next chapter begins, before the breakthrough arrives, you will find yourself in the wilderness of solitude. This solitude is not a curse, it is a calling. A divine invitation to go deeper, to see more clearly, to become who you were always meant to be. When the noise of the world fades, when the opinions of others no longer cloud your mind, you begin to hear what was always there, the quiet yet powerful voice within. In this silence, you will come to know yourself in ways you never have before. You will see your own strength, your own resilience, your own worth. You will begin to shed the layers of identity that were shaped by others, peeling away the expectations, the false attachments, the need for external validation. The isolation may feel unbearable. Humans are wired for connection, and to suddenly find yourself alone can feel unnatural. You may feel tempted to run back to familiar places, to rekindle old relationships, to seek comfort in the very things that life has been pulling you away from. But you must resist this urge. The separation is happening for a reason. The doors that closed were never meant to remain open. The people who left were never meant to stay. If they were part of your destiny, they would still be here. Let them go. Understand that not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next season of your life. Some relationships were only meant to serve a purpose for a time. Some connections were only meant to teach you lessons, not to last forever. Growth requires distance. Elevation requires separation. If you are being pulled into solitude, it is because God is preparing to reveal something to you that cannot be understood in the presence of distractions. The most profound moments of transformation happen in the quiet. It is in this stillness that you will begin to see the bigger picture, to recognize the patterns, to understand why things had to unfold the way they did. The answers you have been seeking will come, not through others, but through the deep knowing within you. This is the season where you will discover the power that has always been inside you, the strength that was buried beneath the noise, the wisdom that was drowned out by the world. Solitude is where your spirit is refined. It is where your faith is tested. It is where you are stripped of all illusions and left with nothing but the truth. And the truth is this: you were never alone. Even in your most isolated moments, even when it felt like no one understood, even when the silence felt unbearable, God was there, watching, guiding, preparing. This separation is not the end. It is the beginning. When the time is right, new doors will open. But this time, they will not be doors of illusion or distraction. They will be doors aligned with your highest path. The people who enter your life next will not drain your energy, but uplift you. The opportunities that come will not require you to shrink yourself, but to rise into your fullest expression. Everything that is truly meant for you will find you once you have been prepared to receive it. So embrace the solitude. Let it do its work. Allow it to shape you, to strengthen you, to clear the path ahead. The loneliness you feel now is temporary, but the transformation it brings will last forever. You are not being abandoned. You are being elevated. And when you emerge from this season, you will not be the same. You will be clearer, stronger, and more aligned than ever before. This is not a loss. This is preparation for something far greater than you could ever imagine. There will come a moment on your journey when nothing seems to go as planned. The path that once seemed clear suddenly becomes clouded with obstacles. The things that once flowed effortlessly now feel blocked at every turn. You put in the effort, yet nothing moves. You pray, yet the answer seems delayed. You move forward, but resistance meets you at every step. It feels as if everything is working against you. You question whether you should continue or turn back. But what if this opposition is not a sign to stop, but an indication that you are on the verge of something greater? Resistance always comes before revelation. The struggles you are facing are not random. They are not punishment. They are preparation. Every delay, every obstacle, every moment of frustration is shaping you, refining you, strengthening you for what lies ahead. If you were not meant for something greater, there would be no resistance. The fact that you are facing so much opposition is proof that something powerful is unfolding. Think of a seed buried beneath the soil. Before it can break through the surface, it must push through the dirt, the darkness, the weight pressing down on it. The pressure is not meant to destroy it, but to strengthen it for its emergence. And just like that seed, you too are being prepared. The obstacles in your way are not barriers, they are stepping stones. The delays are not denials, they are divine timing at work. Yet in these moments, the mind plays tricks. Doubt creeps in. You begin to wonder if you are doing something wrong, if you have misread the signs, if you should give up altogether. This is where many people turn back. They mistake the resistance for a message to quit. But those who understand the nature of growth know that struggle is part of the process. Every great breakthrough is preceded by opposition. Every transformation requires discomfort. You cannot rise to a new level without first facing the forces that seek to keep you bound to the old one. The opposition you face is not there to stop you. It is there to test you. Do you truly believe in your vision? Will you stand firm when things don't go as expected? Will you keep moving forward when every excuse to quit presents itself? These challenges are refining your character. They are stripping away weakness, self-doubt, and fear. They are forcing you to develop resilience, faith, and patience. Delays can feel frustrating, but they are often the greatest blessings in disguise. What looks like stagnation is actually divine alignment. If something is being delayed, it is because the timing is not yet right. If you were to receive your breakthrough before you were fully prepared, you might mishandle it. There are lessons you must learn, perspectives you must gain, strength you must build before you step into the next level. The delay is not a rejection, it is a divine recalibration. Consider the caterpillar that must endure the darkness of the cocoon before it can emerge as a butterfly. The struggle it faces as it pushes through the cocoon is not a mistake. It is necessary. If someone were to cut the cocoon open prematurely, the butterfly would never develop the strength to fly. The same is true for you. The process may feel slow, the pressure may feel overwhelming, but every challenge is preparing you for the strength you will need to sustain the blessing that is coming. Opposition also serves another purpose. It reveals what is within you. It exposes the parts of you that still operate from fear, that still rely on external validation, that still question whether you are truly capable. And in that exposure, you are given the chance to grow, to release old doubts, to build new confidence, to strengthen your faith, to become someone who no longer reacts to delays with frustration, but with trust. Someone who no longer sees obstacles as roadblocks, but as confirmation that something greater is coming. So when you encounter resistance, do not retreat. Do not shrink back in fear. Do not allow delays to make you doubt. Instead, lean into the process. Trust that every obstacle is shaping you. Trust that the delays are aligning you. Trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep moving forward. The resistance you are facing now is the final test before the breakthrough. The pressure you feel is not a sign that you are failing. It is proof that you are on the verge of transformation. You are being refined, prepared, strengthened for something bigger than you can imagine. And when the moment comes, when the doors finally open, when the delays give way to destiny, you will understand why every obstacle was necessary. When the delays give way to destiny, you will understand why every obstacle was necessary. You will see that nothing was wasted. You will recognize that the resistance was never meant to break you, but to build you into the person who is ready to receive everything that has been waiting for you. There comes a time when everything around you seems uncertain. The world may look unstable, your plans may seem to fall apart, and nothing appears to be going as expected. Yet deep within you there is a quiet voice, a knowing that refuses to fade. It is not loud or demanding, but it is steady, unwavering, and undeniable. No matter how much doubt tries to creep in, no matter how many obstacles arise, this inner conviction remains. This is not wishful thinking, nor is it blind optimism. This is something deeper, something sacred. It is God whispering to you, reminding you that your breakthrough is near. When you are on the verge of something great, external circumstances will often suggest otherwise. You may experience setbacks, delays, and even moments of despair. People may doubt you, opportunities may seem scarce, and the road ahead may feel impossible to navigate. But through it all, there is an unshakable knowing within you that keeps pulling you forward. It is as if your soul already knows what is coming, even if your mind struggles to see it. This inner knowing is not something you create. It is something you receive. It is a divine confirmation, an assurance that cannot be logically explained but can always be felt. It speaks to you in moments of stillness. It strengthens you when fear tries to take over. It reminds you that no matter how things appear, something is shifting in your favor. The breakthrough is already set in motion, and all you have to do is trust. Yet, trusting in this knowing is not always easy. The logical mind demands evidence. It wants proof before belief. It looks at what is happening on the outside and insists that nothing is changing. But faith operates differently. Faith is the ability to stand firm even when there is no visible proof. Faith listens to the whisper of certainty rather than the noise of doubt. Faith does not wait for the manifestation to believe. It believes first, knowing that the manifestation must follow. There is a reason why you feel this inner certainty despite everything around you seeming chaotic. It is because what is coming is already yours. You are not chasing it. You are aligning with it. You are not wishing for it. You are stepping into it. The unshakable knowing within you is evidence that what you seek is already making its way to you. Consider a mother in the final weeks of pregnancy. She may not see the child yet, but she knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is there. The waiting does not make her question whether the child exists. The discomfort does not make her doubt whether birth will happen. She carries the certainty within her, even when she cannot yet hold what she knows is coming. In the same way, you are carrying the promise of what is to come. The discomfort, the waiting, and even the uncertainty are all part of the process. But the knowing within you, that is the ultimate sign that you are on the brink of something extraordinary. This is why, when you feel that inner conviction, you must hold on to it. Do not allow external circumstances to shake your belief. Do not let temporary obstacles make you question the inevitable. The very fact that you feel this deep certainty means that God has already set things in motion. Your breakthrough is not something you need to force into existence. It is something that is unfolding in divine timing, but patience is required. Those who give up too soon never get to witness the full manifestation of their faith. The moment just before a breakthrough often feels the most challenging. The pressure increases, the obstacles seem greater, and the waiting feels unbearable. But this is not a sign to quit. It is a sign that you are closer than ever. The resistance before a breakthrough is always the greatest, because transformation requires endurance. Many people dismiss their inner knowing because they expect the journey to be easy. They believe that if something is truly meant for them, it should arrive without struggle. But nothing great is birthed without a process. A diamond is not formed without pressure. A butterfly does not emerge without the struggle of breaking free from the cocoon. And in the same way, your breakthrough requires that you hold firm, even when everything around you tries to convince you otherwise. The key is to cultivate trust. When doubt whispers, remind yourself of the certainty that has been placed within you. When circumstances seem to contradict what you believe, remember that reality is always shifting. What you see now is not the final chapter. Keep moving forward, keep believing, and do not waver in your conviction. You will look back and realize that the knowing you had was never wrong. You will see that every delay had a purpose, that every obstacle strengthened you, and that every moment of uncertainty was simply a test of your faith. You will step into what you always knew was yours, and when you do, you will understand why God placed that unshakable knowing within you from the very beginning. There is a moment in every journey when the waiting becomes difficult, when doubt creeps in, and when you wonder if what you desire will ever come to pass. It is in this moment that faith is truly tested. Before receiving something big, you must first prove that you can trust without seeing, that you can believe even when there is no visible evidence. This is not a punishment, it is preparation. It is the divine testing of patience and faith. God stretches your faith before He delivers His promise, not to make you suffer, but to make you ready. Faith is not needed when everything is going well. It is not tested in moments of ease or certainty. Faith is proven in the unseen, in the silence, in the waiting. It is in these moments when nothing seems to be happening that God is watching closely. Will you trust Him even when you don't see the results yet? Will you hold on to His promise even when there is no proof? This is where true faith is formed, not in receiving, but in believing before the manifestation arrives. Most people struggle with this process because they want immediate results. They want to see movement, signs, or confirmation before they fully commit to believing. But faith does not work that way. Faith asks you to believe first, to trust before you see, to walk forward even when the path is unclear. It requires surrendering control, releasing the need for instant gratification, and allowing divine timing to unfold. There is a reason why the greatest blessings do not come instantly. If everything arrived the moment we asked for it, there would be no growth, no transformation, and no deepening of trust. The waiting is not a delay, it is a divine process. It is in the waiting that character is built, endurance is strengthened, and faith is refined. Every great blessing requires preparation, and that preparation often comes in the form of patience. Think of a seed planted in the ground. The moment it is placed beneath the soil, it begins its journey of transformation. But in the beginning, nothing is visible. There is no sign of growth, no proof that anything is happening. Yet beneath the surface, roots are forming, stretching deep into the earth, preparing to sustain what will soon break through. If someone were to dig up the seed too soon, they would assume it was lifeless. But in reality, it was growing all along. The same is true for your desires, your prayers, your dreams. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean it is not happening. This is where faith is required. Faith asks you to trust the unseen, to believe in the process, and to remain steadfast even when nothing appears to be changing. The greatest rewards go to those who do not give up, who do not allow the silence to shake their confidence, and who continue to walk forward even when there is no visible sign of movement. Patience is not just about waiting. It is about how you wait. Anyone can wait, but very few can wait with unwavering trust. Many become frustrated, discouraged, or doubtful when things do not happen on their timeline. But those who truly understand the divine process remain at peace. They know that every delay is divine alignment, that every moment of waiting is a step closer to fulfillment. They do not allow impatience to lead them to settle for less. They do not try to force things before their time. Instead, they trust, they prepare, and they remain faithful. The reason God stretches your faith before delivering His promise is because what He has for you is greater than what you have imagined. But with greater blessings come greater responsibilities. If your faith is not strong enough to endure the waiting, how will it be strong enough to handle what is coming? If you cannot trust Him in the unseen, how will you trust Him when challenges arise, even after you receive the blessing? Faith is a muscle, and like any muscle, it must be stretched to grow. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity to strengthen that faith, to deepen your trust, and to align yourself with the higher purpose behind your desire. The process is not about testing whether you are worthy. It is about preparing you to fully receive and sustain what is meant for you. Many people give up right before their breakthrough. They grow tired of waiting and assume that if something has not happened yet, it never will. But they fail to realize that the moment when faith feels hardest to hold on to is often the moment right before everything shifts. The greatest blessings require endurance, and endurance is built through patience. So if you find yourself in a season of waiting, do not be discouraged. Do not mistake silence for absence. Do not allow impatience to shake your trust. Instead, lean into faith more deeply. Remind yourself that what is meant for you cannot be taken away, that divine timing is always perfect, and that every moment of waiting is a step toward the fulfillment of the promise. When the breakthrough finally arrives, you will see why the waiting was necessary. You will understand that every delay was actually positioning you for something greater. You will look back and realize that the faith you built during the process was just as valuable as the blessing itself. And in that moment, you will know without a doubt that God was always working, even when you could not see it. There are moments in life when things seem to align in ways that defy logic, when signs appear so clearly that they cannot be ignored. These moments are not coincidences. They are divine synchronicities, guiding you towards something greater. When God is about to give you something big, the unseen world begins to communicate with you in unexpected ways. Messages will appear in dreams, through conversations, and even in the words of strangers. Every detail is orchestrated in your favor, moving you closer to your breakthrough. These signs may come in subtle ways at first. A song on the radio that speaks directly to your situation. A random phrase in a book that answers a question you've been asking. Or a stranger who unknowingly delivers a message that resonates deeply. At first, these moments might seem like mere coincidences, but as they continue to appear, you begin to realize they are part of something much bigger. The unseen world is aligning everything, whispering to you that your desires are being fulfilled. One of the most common ways these messages arrive is through dreams. In the stillness of the night, when the conscious mind is at rest, divine guidance flows freely. Some dreams come as direct visions, revealing what is to come. Others are more symbolic, requiring you to pay attention to emotions, imagery, and themes. When a dream repeats itself, or evokes a deep sense of knowing, it is often a message preparing you for what lies ahead. These dreams are not random. They are glimpses of the unseen forces at work, shifting things in your favor. Beyond dreams, synchronicities will appear in your waking life. You may think of someone and then unexpectedly hear from them. You may be contemplating a major decision when a sign suddenly confirms what your intuition already knew. Repeating numbers, familiar symbols, or meaningful patterns begin to emerge, reminding you that you are on the right path. The world around you begins to reflect your inner state, proving that everything is connected in ways beyond human understanding. These divine signs often come when doubt tries to creep in. Just when you begin to question whether your desires will manifest, an unexpected confirmation appears. A conversation with a stranger might provide the exact reassurance you need. A random event might push you in the direction you were hesitant to take. This is how the unseen world works, moving through people, places, and circumstances to lead you where you are meant to go. And these synchronicities serve as a call to take action. When an opportunity arises that aligns with what you have been praying for, it is not a mistake. When the right people show up in your life at the perfect time, it is not by accident. The universe is responding to your faith, arranging everything according to divine timing. Your only task is to recognize these moments and trust them. Many people dismiss these signs, believing them to be coincidences. But nothing in this world happens without purpose. The more you pay attention, the more you realize that life is always communicating with you. The people you meet, the situations you encounter, and the unexpected messages that come your way are all part of the divine orchestration. Every detail is intentional, guiding you towards something far greater than you can see. Sometimes the messages come in ways that challenge you. A door closing, a sudden change in plans, or a delay that forces you to wait. All of these are signs too. Not all synchronicities are about moving forward immediately. Some are about pausing, redirecting, or preparing. If something you desire does not come as expected, it is not a rejection but a realignment. What is meant for you will always find its way, and the signs will continue to appear until you fully trust the process. The most powerful synchronicities are the ones that stir something deep within you. It may be an unexplainable feeling of knowing, a moment of overwhelming peace, or a sudden realization that everything is happening exactly as it should. This is the unseen world affirming that you are not alone, that your prayers have been heard, and that your breakthrough is unfolding. When you start seeing these unexpected signs and synchronicities, do not ignore them. Pay attention. Write them down. Reflect on them. Trust them. The more you acknowledge them, the more they will appear. The more you trust, the clearer the path becomes. You are being guided, supported, and aligned with something far greater than you can imagine. When God is about to give you something big, the signs will be undeniable. You will hear messages in unexpected places, see patterns too precise to be random, and feel an inner knowing that cannot be shaken. This is the unseen world at work, aligning everything in your favor. Stay open, stay aware, and most importantly, stay in faith. What is coming is already yours. When God is about to give you something big, He prepares you in ways that may not always make sense at first. Your life may feel disrupted, but it is only being rearranged for something greater. You may experience isolation, but this solitude is where clarity and strength are born. Unusual opposition and delays may arise, but they are not roadblocks. They are signs that you are stepping into something beyond what you can currently see. Amidst all of this, an unshakable inner knowing will persist, reminding you that your breakthrough is near. Your faith will be tested, but this testing is not to break you. It is to strengthen your trust in what you cannot yet see. And when the time is right, unexpected signs and synchronicities will begin to appear, confirming that everything is aligning in your favor. Through it all, remember that nothing is happening by chance. Every delay, every test, and every sign is a part of a divine plan leading you to something greater than you can imagine. Trust the process. Hold on to faith even when the path is unclear. What is meant for you is already unfolding. And when the moment arrives, you will realize that every challenge was simply preparation for the blessing ahead. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay faithful, and be ready. Your time is coming.